to thank Ms. Danielle. When she reached out to me about being one of the speakers at this event, it's crazy because it was probably a couple of days before she did that I told myself I was going to scale back from doing a whole bunch of public events. After a while, it becomes very overwhelming, and it becomes difficult when you almost don't feel appreciated, especially when you're at home. And so I said I was going to scale back, and so you really tugged on my heart. And then when I found out it was here, I grew up on Kelly Avenue, born and raised on Kelly Avenue. That was just confirmation that I needed to be here. CCC knows, she knows. So I want to tell you a little bit about my story, and hopefully you all find some inspiration and some empowerment in that. Who am I? I was a teen mom. Had 2 kids in high school. Had my first daughter, got pregnant when I was 15. Had my first daughter when I was 16. I talk about this story in my book. I remember being pregnant in school and had my daughter early. Had her almost 10 weeks early. She weighed 3 pounds, 12 and a half ounces. She's my oldest, Ryan Marie. And coming back to school 2 weeks after having a baby. And I remember walking in my health class and the health teacher, I didn't even give her any kind of credence in my book. I didn't even mention her name because I just didn't think she was worthy of that much. But in front of a whole classroom full of people, she says, "Oh, I'm surprised you didn't quit." And instead of letting her words define me, I use those words as my motivation. And you know, I didn't even have to defend myself. My classmates defended me. I didn't have to say a word, but I let that stay with me. Sometimes we hold on to the wrong thing, but sometimes we hold on to the wrong thing for the right reason, and that's what I did. So, you know, I talk about in my book where I said the sex ed conversation just did not happen in our house. Just going back a little bit, growing up, I lived with my mom until I was probably 6 or 7, and then I lived with my aunt and uncle for a majority of my teen years and my grandmother, and then went back to live with my mom with my aunt, who was in an abusive marriage with my uncle. I came home from school one day and she was gone. And that hurt because she was my rock, but I understood because I watched that abuse. I never experienced the abuse she did. And so, you know, I was hurt, but I understood later on in life why she left. So when I had to go back to live with my mom, it was totally different. I had structure. I came from structure. But then when I went home, it was like, you can hang out in Joy Park. Now, all of us from the east side already know. I got to hang out in Joy Park, hang on the wall, you know. They drank Thunderbird, I didn't. I'm just putting that disclaimer out there. I didn't do that part. And so, and you know, it was just different for me. And so I got to do a lot of things I wasn't able to do when I lived in this structured environment. So here I was, had a baby at 16. By the time I went into the 11th grade, I was pregnant again. How did this happen? Because there was no structure. So I got to just do what I want, come home when I want. There was nobody telling me, you should be home by 10 o'clock or before the lights come on outside like my grandmother and my aunt did. So when I got pregnant again, I remember family members were so disappointed. And I remember them going to my grandmother and saying, why does she keep having these kids? And my grandmother's words, I found out later on, she said, out of all the grandkids, she's the only one I'm not worried about. And even though here I was, now I'm at 17, with 2 kids in high school, trying to do my best to get out of high school, my grandmother never doubted me. I will tell you, those high school years were tough. And the one thing I like to tell young moms all the time is, don't let those individuals define you, because there's always somebody there willing to be a helpmate for you. There is, because I had one. Out of all the things that I struggled with through high school, I had a teacher, Miss Woodley. I don't even know where she is today, but I owe a lot to her because she pushed me, and showed me there was a way in a life for me and my babies, even though here I was in high school with 2 kids. And I remember being in our senior year, and there was probably like 4 of us that was pregnant. And back in the 80s, I mean, disclaimer, I am 48. A lot of people don't think that I am, but I am 48. Graduated in 89. There was only like 4 of us in the school that were pregnant. So it was a lot of, now all girls, unfortunately, most of them have kids in high school, not a big deal, but back then, it was a big deal. So when we were pregnant, they would try to force us to go to this teenage parent center. They didn't want you in the school. They want to sort of kind of hide us. And my dad said, if you want to go back to school, you go back to school. So he pitched a fit. They let me come back to school. And my counselor at the time, she just put me some crazy schedule together. I was in a whole bunch of honors classes, but she was putting me in classes I should not have been in. And, you know, this was, I think, one of the moments that really showed me how people treat teen moms and even teen dads. A week before graduation, she calls me and 3 of the other girls. And mind you, there's only 4 of us in the school that we were pregnant and had a baby. Called us to the office and had us all sit there and say, I didn't give you guys enough credit. You don't get to graduate.
Wow.
So I look at the girls, I feel like I have to stand up for everyone at this point. And I'm like, so you're gonna tell me out of all these kids in this school, only the ones with the kids, y'all forgot to give us the right schedule. So I said they didn't think we were gonna finish. They didn't care if we finished. One of my friends, who I grew up with from elementary school through high school, Johnny, she was just here for our class reunion. I love her to death. We've been friends for over 40 years. She was one of the teen moms, and she's like, I bet you I walked that stage. She went and found them teachers, and she was like, somebody get me out of here. I'm not staying here. I don't know what she did, but she did it. The rest of us, we had to encourage each other to take that semester so we could graduate. And you know, I say that to a lot of my young girls now because a lot of them give up. They have a baby and then they think that's it. And it's not. You just need that one person to be there to be your rider and say, we can do this together, but you have to push each other. And I think we as women, we don't do enough of that. We are so quick to down one another, talk about one another, dismiss one another, where we should really be there helping each other along the way. And I think that is so important. That's why this event is so important, because we don't do that enough. And I think that there is just power in numbers, and there's unity and love in that. And we need to do more of that. I think we focus so much on trying to find the negative, we miss all the positives. So I think that that's something that we, as women, as Black women, need to work on, because